They say talk is cheap. Come and have a seat. Join the conversation. This is what you need. Real convo, authentic and honest. Communicating in marriage, yeah, we gotta talk about it. Yeah, never hold back. Lay it all out on the table. Building up stronger relations. It's time for a transformation. This is real talk, something you can feel talk. Come and grab a seat. Yeah, it's time to have some Bell Talk. Woo! Bell Talk.
Hello everyone, welcome to Bell Talk. I'm Stephen.
And my name is Nadia Bell. So, hey guys.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. I'm so sorry that I was not able to give you guys an update on what has been taking place. Last minute, I had a procedure and doctor's orders. I had to have immediate bed rest. So we've missed quite a few episodes, but hey, I'm here, feeling better, energized, and we're back.
So we're gonna start where we left off. We was doing a series called Family Values, and we left off talking about parenting. So go ahead.
So this will be our last topic on parenting, and next week we'll be starting our new topic. So the topic for tonight is sibling separation.
Ooh.
Okay. Sibling separation. So I'm sure most of you guys probably dealt with or dealing with sibling separation. So sibling separation is where you have multiple kids and your parents or other people that comes into your house, other family members, they cater to one of your kids than the other. So that's such a touchy topic, and it's just, we're gonna get into it.
All right.
So
favoritism.
Yes, pretty favoritism. So
that's what it is. You
have two kids. You have that one child that does something wrong, and you put them on a little punishment, and they actually get off punishment, and you take them off easily. You have the other child, they do something wrong, you put them on punishment, and you leave them there. So in their mind, they're like, okay, but my brother, did the same thing, and you let them off the hook easy. So it's little things that we don't even think about that kids think about in their mind, and it makes them feel like you like one child more than the other. That can not only create identity crisis, it can, create rivalry between the siblings. It can create so much things for that child, because as they grow to an adult, they have, in their mind, they think that they have a lot of issues or something wrong with themselves, or they think the worst of themselves because they feel like I've been treated different than my sibling all my life, or people in the family always catered to this, my brother or my sister more than they did me. So in their mind, they start thinking that something is wrong with them, and it creates something in their head that's not even there. That's not even true, because this is a feeling. So as your kids are small, I don't allow people to. I have a son and I have a daughter. My son. We have a son and we have a daughter. My son, he's currently going through occupational therapy. He's going through speech therapy, and he has some little things going on with him that may cause a little bit more of Stephen and I's attention. So at the same time, we can't focus and make him feel like he's the golden child and leave my daughter on a back burner, and make her feel like, where you're not important because you don't have these things going on with you. You don't have no, disabilities or anything like that going on with you. So you're not important right now. It's all about Aiden. No, what we did is we incorporate her in. So if Aiden had it for a while, well, he's gotten a whole lot better, but for a while he had a problem with speech. They say he had a speech delay. So, we work extra hard with him to teach him words, teach him letters and sounds and vowels. So what we did with Nala so that she wouldn't feel left out, we brought her alongside. You're the big sister, Nala. This is the problem where your brother struggles, and this is what you can do to help him. So we brought her alongside to make her feel like she's just as important as he is, and it made her feel better because she feel like, hey, I'm a big sister. I'm helping my little brother. So we don't want to create that space in our home where everything's about Aiden because he have a challenge. In most households, it's always a daddy's girl and a mama's boy. And sometimes mamas, my son is a mama's boy. Sometimes we tend to hold on tight to our boys, and we cater to them, a bit much. But your other child, they're looking like, this child seems like they're the favorite. They seem like they're more important than I. We don't understand what we're creating in their mind to make them feel like I'm different than somebody else. And they actually take that mentality to school as well.
Yeah.
So.
Now, we're going to hit on a few things for you guys to take notes, and for those of you who are note takers like myself. Here are a few things that can cause sibling separation or division amongst the siblings. All right. One is comparing one child against the other. Another one is name calling. Third one is unhealthy expectations for your kids, and we'll get into that a little bit later. Which also can cause, like my wife said earlier, identity crisis, low self-esteem, and unhealthy competition between each other. Now, to talk about the first one, right, comparing one child against the other. Now, when I was growing up, I had 3 brothers, all right, altogether 3 brothers, and I lived with 2 of them, not including myself. So, and I also had an older sister, but she never lived with us. At the time, I was more of the responsible one. My older brother was more carefree, a little gullible, and my younger brother, he was like his own person, his own man. Okay, but when it comes to responsibilities, we handle that a little bit differently. Most of the time I did most of the work, and a lot of times parents will watch and see that, and they'll say, well, you know what, why you don't do this like your brother Steph? You know what I'm saying? Or I'm gonna reward him. I'm gonna punish you guys. And in some situations, it didn't really call for that. So if that's something you do on a consistent basis, eventually it creates some type of division amongst each other. Because now every time they do something, you expect them to do something wrong. And every time I do something, right, even if I do it wrong, it's not really looked upon as oh, you know what, it's okay. But
you mostly get it right, so
you mostly get it right, so you're okay. So no. Whatever the task is, if it's not done right amongst any of them, the repercussions and consequences should be the same. All right, not to be like to have one favorite than the other, and you should never say that out your mouth concerning your children.
Yeah, like for example, I was telling Stephanie not too long ago. Like for example, we have Nala and we have Aiden. So Nala's the oldest, Aiden is the youngest. They're a year apart. So if I tell Nala to do something and she don't do it correct, and I can't yell at her and say, well, if I had told Aiden to do that, he would have done it this way, he would have done it that way, because in their mind, you're creating this incompetency that they don't measure up. There's something wrong with me, or I never get it right, or it's always me. Like you're creating this at a young age in their mind, and it grows with them into an adult. So once they become an adult, that's how they feel about themselves. They always take the bottom of the totem pole. They always look down on themselves. They never think highly of themselves. They always think, if I get anything, I'm grateful. They just their whole self-esteem is just like broken because it kills them, because from a child, you make them feel like you're never right, you never measure up. Your sibling always does everything better than you. I wish you were like them.
Yeah, that's right.
No. Say if you have a husband and you're a wife, we are two totally different people. I can't expect Stephen to be like me, and I can't expect me to be like him. Because we're 2 individuals with 2 different mindsets, two different everything. So if you know that you and your spouse are different in so many ways, and y'all may go through y'all struggles or whatever from time to time, why would you put that pressure on your kids, especially when they're kids?
They're kids, so you gotta give them space to grow. So just like anything in life, excuse me, the process of them developing to become the best version of themselves is predicated on how you raise them, how you treat them, how you talk to them earlier on in their process of them becoming an adult. So like she said before, you don't want to create, how to say it, compare each other. Even as they say, for example, they both get something wrong together. That don't mean, even if my daughter is like 1 year older than my son, and obviously he's 1 year younger than her, okay, the punishment should be more on her because she's older. Well, they both get it wrong. So the level of intensity you have on one child should be the same for the other. I shouldn't be like, well, now you know what, you did a pretty bad job, try again next time. And my son be like, man, look, come on, man, go in the room. Okay, they can tell the tone, they can tell, okay, the different treatment and the different repercussions for both of them. Why am I going to the room but she's still standing downstairs? That's what we're talking about. The repercussions and consequences should be the same for both child. That's effective enough for them to learn from that experience, not feel that they're not better, they're not good enough, or they're like, love me. None of that. Because every time we correct our kids, we come back around and say, listen, and we explain it to them, and they say, look, we still love you, nothing changed, but we really want you guys to really catch on a little faster. You know what I'm saying? So, which leads into name calling. That don't mean you call them stupid, idiot, jack, and whatever it is you come across your mind because you emotionally feel detached from the situation or emotionally too involved in the situation. Name calling your kids is a no-no. One, they eventually start speaking and saying the same thing to their peers, maybe to their teachers at school. Name calling should never be hatched in your house. It's
literally like you're speaking over their life.
Yeah,
you're stupid, you're an idiot, and like I said, it all boils down to the same thing. You're creating how they think about themselves. You stupid, you can never get nothing right. I'm tired of you, you're slow, on all these different names, and it shapes and it creates their world. And I know there's so many of us that have grew up in households where your parents were big on name calling. Big on name calling you dumb, you're stupid, idiot, and how could you not think? I mean, like, that's just
I mean, it's self-explanatory, y'all. Self-explanatory.
That's something I told my husband that we would never do with our kids, like name calling and stupid and dumb. And even when it comes to, some parents tell their sons, like, if they don't get certain things right, or when they act a certain way, stop acting like a punk, or you're acting like a girl, or something like that. Like, what is that? Like, those are things that really just, like, people say grind, like, it makes me cringe, because I'm like, you're shaping this little boy's world to make him think one-sided. Like, you're not giving him the whole spectrum. I think, like, one time my husband corrected me. I told my son he did something wrong, and I told him, and he started crying. I was talking to him, and he started crying, and I told him that big boys don't cry. And my husband, he was like way across the other part of the house, and he's like, babe, no, don't say that. And I came downstairs, he had to explain to me, like, no, like, you don't tell him that. Because that's something that's been told to young boys at a young age. So now you have this young boy that grows into a man, and he don't have any emotion. He's married, he don't have any emotion, he don't have a sensitive side. And his spouse, which was more, as women, we're emotional creatures. We're looking for that comfort from our husband, that sensitivity side. So he's been told as a little boy, big boys don't cry, big boys don't cry. So that shaped his mind. So as an adult, how do he deal with what he's going with? He can't cry, he can't show any emotion, because his mind is locked in that big boys don't cry.
Yeah, because you label it as being soft, which is not.
Yeah, you're labeled as being soft or acting like a girl. Like, those are things that just really, like, grind my gears.
Now, I have to piggyback. Now I'm gonna piggyback right off that because I'm a man. Listen, all right. I told my son and my daughter, I said, now, the only reason you have to cry is if somebody physically hurts you, or you maybe get a chastisement of some sort, right? Or something drastic happens, somebody dies, or somebody gets hurt, maybe you fall down, but that calls for you to cry, or you hear some bad news. But you don't cry when somebody tells you, oh, you can't have the ice cream, or you can't go outside and play. Okay? Like, handle that. That's how we do it in our house. Okay, maybe that'd be for everybody else, but if you're gonna cry about something, especially my son, that because something actually happened physically or emotionally that caused you to cry, that calls for you to cry, not just because you don't get your way. Okay, that's called being spoiled to us. Okay, that'd be for everybody else. I'm saying for us, if somebody tells you no, that does not mean never. It means not right now, and we tell them that too. Because I tell you no, does not mean you can't have it. You just cannot have candy at 11 o'clock at night. You can't eat ice cream 1 o'clock in the morning. You can't, you understand what I'm saying? So that's why we say, when it comes to crying, you have reasons to cry, but that won't be one of them.
So we do a lot of, I think we said in our other episode, we do a lot of talking to our kids, because we understand from being children that a lot of times your parents, they put out orders, but with no explanation. like for example, you tell your daughter, don't go out there and doing this and doing that. Don't get pregnant. You put all this fear in them about, but you don't tell them what's the results. Hey, I'm telling you that don't hang around the bad crowd. Don't hang around, these boys. Or don't have these type of friends, because this is the result of you doing that. We didn't get that growing up. It was just horror. Like, don't do this, don't do that. I'm gonna hurt you, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna knock you out. Don't do this, don't do that. And we don't know. And so a lot of times we end up doing those things that they told us not to do, because they never told us why we should not do it. They just said, don't do it.
Now, I was given a why. It was just too many whys. You all right? So it's like, okay, why? Because I'm like, okay, listen, after a while, it's like, you have to live. I can't not, okay, watch out, for your friends. And I'm 50, 40. If I haven't learned that when I was a teenager, there's something wrong. I mean, some stuff, okay, it's repetitive, but like overly. You don't want to overdo that, which falls into another category, all right? Unhealthy expectation. Unhealthy expectation is when, for example, I have my daughter, look, I see she have a talent in something, so my expectation is I want her to excel in track and field. So I'll put her in basketball, I'll put her in all these different sports to get her better. Well, let's say I put her in basketball and I put her in track so she can get better in basketball. So now she's running track to get stronger, and my expectation is for her to be phenomenal in all of it. But she may not want that, or even desire to even run track. But I put an unhealthy expectation on her to perform in something she's not interested in. That's not good.
Even with both of the kids, like
both kids.
If your daughter is more of an athletic person, and you feel like, well, I have a son, and some people might feel like, okay, boys just automatically go with athletics. So you may
be a superstar.
Yeah, exactly. So
athlete.
Your daughter's an athlete, she's natural athletic, and then now you have a son. So now you comparing the two. Okay, so I'll make both y'all athletes. She like being an athlete. You're a boy. It comes with the territory. So now you're pushing both of these kids. The daughter may like it, but the son, that it may not be something that he likes to do. So now you're pushing both of them in athletics, and she's excelling in it. But he's dropping, he's struggling in it. And now you're upset and you're angry. Oh, why can't you do this? Your sister can do this. You should be, doing this and doing that. And you're just so hard on him, and you're just like punishing him because he's not measuring up to what his sister is doing.
Or what your expectation
or whatever your expectation is of him, but you never took the time to cultivate that child, to sit back and look and see exactly what it is that child, what they like. Like, for example, right now, our daughter, like Sibling was saying, she's built. She's been a runner. She's been in elementary school. Her teacher said, she's the fastest runner, and that's something that she loves to do. So we can tell that she'll have some athleticism, and that's something that she will do. But my son, he's more artsy. He's more music and reading, and like he's more like, I guess you would say, called the nerdy type. So he's music, he's arts, he's reading, he's like he loves more of that thing. Like when you watch him, he don't really do anything that shows that he likes sports.
Yeah.
But my daughter, that's her field. So I can't make him and compare him to her if that's not something that that's in him to do. So you're putting all this pressure on him. And God forbid you put him through college, pay all his money to put him in school to do something that he never wanted to do. Now here it is, he's in college and he drops out, and you feel like your money is wasted because I put all this money into you to get scholarships, to play ball, to play this. But Dad, this was something that I never wanted to do. This is something you forced me to do.
Yeah. And then from there, it just goes down from there, because now you never pay attention to the signs of him telling you that, and he didn't want to disappoint you, or either parents. And so now that he's grown, he can speak for himself. He can tell you straight up, this ain't me. So you have to respect that, which falls into the next count: low self-esteem. Low self-esteem comes from kind of like the combination of everything we just said, because part of the kids growing up is building their esteem, building up their being able to be comfortable in their own skin, being different and being okay with that. So,
being different and being okay with that.
Yeah.
I'll talk about that for a little bit. So being different and being okay with that, like I said earlier, like my son, he have some challenges. He succeeded far beyond where he started, but he has some challenges. So in his mind, when he goes to school, I'm probably more of the mama bear than my husband. So when he goes to school, you might have a kid that may say, oh, you're different, or you can't say this, or you can't do that. And it may make you feel a certain type of way, but goes back to the name calling. If you're not using these crazy names on your kids, or you're not making them feel, incompetent, or making them feel less than, when they do go to school and they have these issues and someone come at them in a way, their confidence is already built from home. So somebody may say, hey, you can't shoot the ball like I can shoot, or you can't draw like I can, and in mind they're like, okay, and it's fine. I'm happy with being in my lane. I'm okay with who I am. But if you're constantly name calling them and calling them stupid and dumb, or you constantly comparing them to the other child or other cousins in the family and saying what they should be like them, when they go to school and they have these challenges, when they are different, it's going to be so much harder for them to be able to combat that, because all of the stuff that you instilled in them in the household.
Now, I'm going to give you an example, just a little bit on this subject, because it happened to you, but you don't never pronounce the end of a thing on your kids, meaning you never amount to anything. Okay, that's saying, so you mean tell me for the rest of my natural life I will amount to nothing? You don't think it's kind of a little extreme on that one? Or are you only thing you'll be good at is making babies? Come on, man. So that lets me know as parents that somewhere along the lines your parents failed you, and I tell you that, first of all, that's a lie. And second of all, you don't say that to somebody that God has used, or God has used you to bring into this world, and say you don't want to amount to nothing. No, but if that be the case, it's your fault as a parent.
So now when I don't amount to anything,
and confirm what you say. I told you, yeah, you did.
You spoke that over your child's life.
He or she is a child, all right? Our job is to cultivate their mind to believe in themselves enough to know that they can make it out in this world and dominate. Not go out here and be the average, the low or below average, because they feel like they're not good enough, or they just don't get along in society. Our job as parents is to let these kids know, hey, look, don't let nobody tell you that you're not good enough, or don't let nobody tell you that they're better than you. No, you might even be better than them, but who are you to compare yourself to anybody else? You are you.
I think as parents, we have such, sorry, I hope I didn't cut you off. I hope as parents that we have such an advantage when it comes to our kids, because we've been there. We've been through things. So I think I just feel like it makes your child's life so much better when you can pull them aside and you can tell them about the challenges that you had in life, how you had low self-esteem, how this made you feel, how that made you feel, if you've been bullied in school, or if you felt indifferent about yourself at one time. Like, having these conversations with your kids, I feel like it prepares them for, not only prepares them for the real world, but it helps them with their identity. Like, it's just so crucial with them. Like, you want to never make your kid feel like telling the truth or expressing how they feel is wrong. I know nowadays everything is different. Don't make your child feel, if your child comes to you and say, hey, mom, I noticed that lately you have been working a lot. You haven't really been spending any time with us, or you've been, on the computer a lot, or dad, you've been working a lot. You missed a few of my games. When they express themselves to you, that's not disrespect.
That's right.
It's them opening up, telling you how they feel about their life and how they feel about you as their parent. And it's your job to listen to them. It's not your job to make them feel like everything I say is right. You're the child, I'm the parent, point blank, period. No, that's not how it works.
Sometimes you may be wrong.
And a lot of times you may be wrong, and it takes a real parent to sit there and listen to your child to say, to even tell you that you were wrong in the situation. Like,
I got to say this. Now, we're grown now, right? So now, all that stuff we just got to share with you guys, right? I'm 41. Don't tell nobody. All right? My wife is
30, going on 35.
On 35 this month. God bless you. All right? So, all these things that happened in our life up to this point has affected us to the point where we're having this conversation with you. At the same time, with our parents, there are some conversations we cannot have with them because they're unaware of certain things. Obviously, they're unaware of certain things because of now that we're grown. You have to get to know the new version of new version of stuff. Like, I'm talking to my parents about myself. I still have a hard time having certain conversations because of the fact of how I was raised, and their perception of me. If that makes any sense. Okay, so here's are some tools that you can use to help combat, the whole sibling separation and move it on. One is affirm your children. Affirm them. Hey, good job. Excellent. Just affirm them. Tell them who they are. All right. Now, my daughter Nala, she's beautiful. You're gorgeous. I always tell her stuff that builds her up. I want her to be confident and know that I'm beautiful, regardless if a man tells me that or not. I know I'm beautiful because that to me, right? But she's heard it so much so that she has that confidence in herself to be beautiful, despite of what people may say she should look like or whatever, right? Also, encourage them. Encourage healthy encouragement, right?
Yeah, healthy encouragement. So encouraging your kids in milestones, little milestones, middle, big milestones, because
no matter how big or small.
To us as parents, sometimes, little things that may not be as, big to us, to your child is really big. Like for my daughter, if she put a puzzle together, she might come in the room and say, hey mommy, I've been trying to put the puzzle together, I couldn't do it, I finally did it. And then, as a parent, you might be like, okay, good job. But in her mind, she's like, wow, like I succeeded at something. Like she's so excited. So don't downplay their personal accomplishments and their personal success, because in their mind, you never know what they're thinking. They may be thinking that, I can't do this, or, I'm not smart enough. You never know what they're thinking in their mind. So when they come to you with small accomplishments or things that they achieved that they didn't know that they can achieve, give them praise. Give them praise for that.
Praise, right.
Praise them for that. And another thing, let's see, another thing with sibling separation is don't allow anybody else to have sibling separation with your kids. Don't allow a parent, an auntie, a niece, a nephew, whoever to come in and every time they come to your house, they're always playing with your daughter, and your son over there sitting in the corner, and they're not showing him any love. Don't allow people to come in your home and make one child feel less or more than the other. You come into my house, you talk to my kids, you're going to deal with both of them. You're not going to, keep buying one child gifts and then leave that other child stranded because of their personality and how they are.
And my mother, our mother-in-law, my wife's mom, my mother-in-law is good at that. She's good at, she buy, it may be my daughter's birthday, but she'll buy her a birthday gift and buy something for my son, so they won't be like,
make them feel left out. Yeah.
Two more things. One is obviously is to pray. Always pray over your kids. Their upbringing. And last but not least is support system. No matter how big or small, support your children for what they want to do, what they like to do, whether in high school, before high school, whatever event they want to be involved in. Support them and back them 110%.
Push them. So for example, like how Steph and I was saying earlier about my son may be artsy and Nala may be sports. So even though they have two different things that, they love to do, push them just as equally. Don't, just because my husband may be a sports fanatic, don't push my daughter more in sports because that's something that you like, and then, don't really push the son in art. Which we definitely don't do that.
Play the saxophone.
Yeah, I play the saxophone, music, whatever. So don't make him feel like, okay, well, daddy's more into sports because he's pushing, my sister more into that. But, he's not really showing any liking in what I'm doing. No, you push them. I'm so excited to tell my husband all the time. I'm so excited when my kids get to an age where they're having recitals or they're having practice from school or they're having something because yes, I'm excited because we're those parents that's going to always be there to support our kids. They look out in the stands, they see mommy and daddy, mommy with their face on a hat, on a shirt, on the shoes, on the pants, like the biggest fan there is in the stadium.
I'm not doing that.
Supporting my kids with my blowhorn, rooting them on. They're looking like, yes, like my parents here.
My presence alone will be there.
Yes, my parents are, man, really, my parents are here. So you guys, sibling separation is, it's so important. A lot of times you can see that child that you see is going in the right direction and your other child may be going into a slightly different direction. It's not for you to make them feel bad because of what they're doing. It's your job to sit down with them, have a conversation with them. What is going on? Is there anything you want to talk about? Anything I can help you with? Because you never know what's going on with them probably in school or in college or with their friends, like what type of issues they're having in their head that's causing them to steer off and go the opposite way. So it's for you not to make them feel bad for what it is that they're doing, but sit down and have a conversation. How can I help you? Let's talk about this. You know, some things going on with you. You know, how do you feel about yourself? Have a conversation with them. Let them know that you care and not mommy just all about the child. Mommy and daddy just all about the child that's doing good at that moment. Because you can have, like, real quick, like you can have, like me and all my siblings, we all been through our challenges. But because the fact that your kids are different, we might all go through a car accident, you know, and we all walk out alive. One sibling might be traumatized forever. May not ever want to step into a car again. One sibling it might boost them up, so, you know, make them more cautious when they're driving. You know, another sibling, it might do this. So every one of your kids, their take on life experiences different. So do not judge them for how they take on life experiences. I have traumatic stuff happen in my life. My sisters and brothers had traumatic stuff happen in their life, but it's based on how they are, is how they deal with them. So if you have one child that, you know, you've been through something bad, but you pick up the pieces and, you know, you kept it moving. You know, you moved on with life and you're succeeding. But you have another child that they've been through a trauma experience, but it's taking them it's taking them a little more time to heal from the experience. Because if your kids are different, figure out how to tap into them, how to tap into their personalities, the characteristics of them, figure out how to deal with them. Don't treat all of them the same. Well, all y'all been through the situation, so all y'all should be coming out of it the same way. No, we all are different. We're different, just like you're different from, your parents may be different from their siblings. We all are different, so you deal with your kids accordingly. You treat them the same, but you deal with them accordingly because you know
their personality.
You deal with them based on their personality, but you don't make one feel better than the other. You love on them all the same. You cultivate them, you push them, you affirm them. You be their biggest cheerleader, all the same. And whatever differences they have, you deal with them where they at. Deal with them where they at. Never make them feel like, you know, less than. That's what it is.
And that is Bell Talk for today. So look, leave your comments if you have anything you want to share or add to that. We're open to hear whatever you have to say about it. And love you guys for your support.
Yes, definitely. Thank you guys for hanging in there with us. Even though we've been out for a little while, but we're back with some new content as we go through life challenges and conquer and milestones and everything, which we have a lot of stuff coming up that's in the works for next year.
Failures. Nothing wrong with failures. Look,
yes.
Failures is actually a good ingredient for growth in a way. So we never downplay failures. It's just the process to get where you need to be. So we're going to talk about some of those as well.
Definitely, because a lot of things that we talk about is some of our failures and some things that we've learned from. So as we continue to learn from different things and continue to do this parenting, life, marriage,
we're going to share it with
God thing, we're going to share with you guys as much as we can.
All right, that's Bell Talk. God bless you. We'll see you at the top. And
that's it.
Subscribe, y'all.
Peace out, guys. Have a good one.
Hey, they say talk is cheap. Come and have a seat. Join the conversation. This is what you need. Real convo, authentic and honest. Communicating in marriage. Yeah, we gotta talk about it. Yeah. Never hold back. Lay it all out on the table. Building up stronger relations. It's time for a transformation. This is real talk. Something you can feel talk. Come and grab a seat. Yeah, it's time to have some Bell Talk. Bell Talk.